Like he said, see the Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM here in the city of Abeokuta Citizens Forum. Yes, this morning we will be in the health sector. Well, uncertainty still remains highly tense situation there within the health sector. A lot of things, so many of us have complained about incessant strike action within that group. People have asked medical doctors what they say they take is it oath during induction when they are becoming this qualified not to embark on strike. But the argument really, you may also want to give it to them that it appears the only weapon the government listen to is strike action, and these people will say that is the last option, the last resort they have to fall back to when they have to ask government to honor agreements they have met or ask for things they think is their right. Well, at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday, we were told by the Minister of Employment, Tobi, that strike action by medical doctors will henceforth become a criminal. Sorry, not a strike action. I'm sorry about that. Medical doctors going into private practice will no longer be permitted. Whatever that means, how that can be done, achieved, why did they get to that position? We also think this is the right thing to do at this moment. All this is what we'll be looking at. Dele Ayodo is my name.
And I am Tobi, Joseph. Just like Dele mentioned earlier, this is an issue that is of paramount interest to so many Nigerians. It is very important that we look at what the law of the land says as regards the professional ethics, which places so much weight on a medical doctor. The Minister of Health himself, Professor Isaac Adewale, a medical doctor, though he is in the academia, is the one actually saying that a committee has been set up to look extensively into that issue because they want to resolve the issue of what does the law of the land state and what the rule of the professional ethic says. He stated categorically that the law of the land does not allow any public officer to do anything else other than farming. So anything aside that, owning a pharmacy, owning a medical store, a clinic, a maternity clinic, a hospital, whatever it is that you're owning, whether you're going to real estate or building a hostel.
So far, doctor into real estate.
There is nothing they don't do. Okay. So far, you are going outside what the law states, and then it might be criminal. The federal government will put a stop to it. And that's what we're looking at this morning. And we have on the line
chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Abayomi Olajide. Good morning, Dr. Olajide.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Dr. Olajide. Okay, Dr. Olajide.
Good morning, our listeners.
We want you to educate us. What does the rule, the law of the profession says in regards to this issue of doctors in government practice still operating private clinics or getting involved in private jobs?
Well, thank you very much. I think maybe there's a bit of sensationalism to this already existed rule of the Medical Dental Council of Nigerian has. I think the background to this is to know that doctors can either work in government practice or private practice. And even duties in both areas can be clinical or non-clinical. So the Federal Executive Council decision, I don't think is anything new to what is well known to Medical Practice Act. The NDC Act, that is the Medical Dental Council of Nigerian Act, which regulates the practice of medicine and dentistry in the country, they are very clear concerning the roles and the rules that needs to be followed. It forbids doctors in full-time employment who also have full engagement of service to have full-fledged private practice. And we need to be very explicit about what he says. He divides doctors into two categories. The medical consultant, or any doctor that has had over 10 years of experience post-registration. So we have two categories: that have spent 10 years and above, or that is appointed as a consultant. And in the Code of Medical Ethics of 2008 edition, Rule 49 was very clear. The medical and dental practitioner who are in full-time employment in public service in the whole country, they are free to employ their time or unofficial hour to engage in private practice. However, what he says is that it must be unofficial hour. What that means is that when they are supposed to be on duty, they are not supposed to be found in a private hospital. They are not. If the official hour for an average doctor, a doctor works from 8 o'clock. That is the official normal duty. And a doctor still goes on after doing 8 to 4 to go on what we call duty. So when the doctor is at work, he is not to be seen at the private hospital to consult. However, there is a caveat to it. For anyone that is of a consultant status or above 10 years post-registration, they are allowed to run private consultation clinics. But that clinic must not open for business except after official duty. I don't know whether you get the explanation very well.
Well, I'm still going to ask you to further explain, because my understanding of what you just said is that there are two categories of doctors.
Yes.
The ones that have 10 years post-registration experience, or regarded or referred to as consultants, and those one and the other side. So the ones regarded as consultants are free to operate private clinics, provided it's not within the period in which they are supposed to be at their duty post in the government post. That's what you've said.
Yes.
So there's a category, there's a category that the medical council rule permits. So that whatever the government wants to say does not affect those ones. That's what you've said, right?
The second category of less than 10 years, those ones that are less than 10 years, they are forbidden from having to go around hospital. Those less than 10 years, they are not permitted
to run hospital. Understand.
They can go and work during unofficial hour in a private facility.
All right. Okay. That means they can have 2 jobs at a time. One full-time, one part-time.
Yes.
Okay.
But it must not be within the official hour.
Oh, okay. Now, Dr. Olajide, the civil service rule clearly forbids anybody from working full-time. The only job permitted is farming. Doctors or medical doctors, do they operate under the civil service rule?
Well, the civil service is very clear. When you are on official duty, you are not to engage in any other thing during official hour. Let's be mindful that there are human rights issues on this. You cannot restrict what a professional can do. You cannot determine what a professional should do. It is only within the ethics of that profession that they have to operate. So this is what the Medical and Dental Council has said. That during official hour, there are no doctor, be it consultant or non-consultant, should be found working in any private facility.
All right, Dr. Olajide.
Yeah.
When you swear an oath to become a doctor, there must be a code of conduct that you must have agreed to. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
In that code of conduct and while you are swearing your oath, is there anything that deters you or that bars you from setting up a private hospital?
Well, just as I've said, there is nothing in the code of conduct that says the doctor cannot set up a private practice. But what is clear is that if you are in full employment of government, you are not, the only thing you can set up if you are above 10 years or you're a consultant is a clinic. A clinic means that you cannot admit, you can only consult. It's not for admission, you can only consult. However, you can consult for another person who has a full-fledged private hospital, but it must be outside official power. Then even add this to the, there is another aspect of this code of ethics that says that for somebody that is above 10 years or a consultant status, you can actually offer an in-hospital care to your private patient. If you have I want to see you privately. And that is one of the things that the federal government, the Ministry of Health, is being charged to encourage. It's called intramural practice. While you are in a public hospital, somebody wants to see you privately. The law allows that you can consult privately within the government establishment. Do you understand? If you have a private patient that wants to see you.
Sorry, I don't understand, Dr. Olajide. Let's further explain. Because when you say I want private consultation, all medical issues, are they not by its nature private? Should there not be privacy and secrecy involved? It's a discussion, it's a move between me and my doctor, which no other person should know or see. So is that not the private consultation they are talking about?
Well, that's not the definition of private. A patient that comes to the public hospital is registered under the hospital. And any doctor employed in the public service has a duty of care to take care of this patient. Now, what we are saying is that the law allows. Now, if you go to UCH, if you go to LUF, and in some other government establishments, they have a private suite. It's like having a private practice within the government hospital. The whole essence of this, the whole essence of all this, is to encourage good patronage of government services, and also to prevent exploitation and to improve commitment on the part of health practitioners. So that's the whole essence of it. It's also in the NDCN Act, what we call intramural practice.
Earlier you said all this to you is sensationalism and that there is nothing new in this whole idea. The Minister of Labour, the Minister of Health, who came with this announcement after the FEC meeting, are both medical doctors. To you, as the leader, as a practitioner, what are they aiming at? What do they want to get? After all, there's nothing new in this. Why the sensationalism?
Well, why I say sensationalism is that this is something already existed. But what has happened over the years is failure of regulation. As we speak, the federal government has not reconstituted the board of NDCS, who who should have the full autonomy to regulate medical practice. I believe that that should have been one of the recommendations or decisions of that NDCN should be reconstituted so that they can fully engage in monitoring of all this. Another thing is that it is the responsibility of the director of hospital services, the director of the medical superintendent to ensure that all these things that are already stated in the NDCN Act, they are enforced. This law has already been existing. How be it is being violated, it is failure in part of the duties of government to ensure that these things are carried to the next. Let me give you an example. In Ogun State, currently, with the reform that is going on in the state, the Ministry of Health they're doing the best towards regulating these practices. All this validation that is being done at the state, that is led by the Honorable Commissioner for Health, is geared towards ensuring the NDCN Act. If you are a medical doctor in this state, and you approach the Ministry of Health that you want to open hospital, the moment you are less than 10 years, you will not be allowed to open hospital. It is being done now in Ogun State.
So what do you do as a body to errant doctors who are not yet consultants or who have spent up to 10 years but who are opening up clinics?
Well, it still falls down to what I mean by regulation. Government regulates, not association. Association recommend, advise, the responsibility of government to regulate. And there are agencies of government that have been empowered to carry out this act. The question is, are they carrying out the act? Now, on the NDCN, there's an NDCN monitoring committee for the state, of which I am a member. I want to categorically tell you that since we have started that meeting, we have reduced to the barest minimum the number of doctors who are less than 10 years that registered such practice. As a matter of fact, most of their clinics, most of their hospitals are not revalidated. This is part of our own agenda on the anti-quackery war that we told our members that we are going to ensure. So, what government needs to do, this or state, is to further enlighten the public and help the regulatory agencies to carry out this act. People, doctors that is licensed to practice in this country, they are aware of all these rules. And so, whoever contravene this rule has to be prosecuted. There are procedures for carrying out this. I think that was why I said, are we talking of ban or reban? Because this has always been the law. It is the new law. How we are talking about is, it is the implementation of that law and the implementation of that practice.
Now, Dr. Olajide, part of the grudge from the other health sector workers in hospitals, leading to the frequent friction within the hospital, is what we are talking about, that medical doctors use this time and prefer to refer patients to their own hospitals. do you not think this move by government will help to eradicate and solve this problem?
Well, just as I said, uh, I think government is just waking up to their responsibilities. And it is also the mandate of the chief executive officer, the medical directors, to ensure that there is adequate monitoring. This law that we are talking about, apart from the one from the NCN, also the Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria have similar rules. If you are a pharmacist working in government practice, you cannot even use your license to register another private facility. So it comes across the professionals, and it will be very parochial to just say it is on doctors alone. It is on mostly all health workers, the nurses, the pharmacists, the laboratory scientists. So my own take is this: the government, the regulator of professionals, to do what is needful concerning regulation of practice. It is not just for one profession, it is for all profession. And to my mind, why some of these things are happening is because government has also failed in the heart of government. Let me give you an example. If you go to the government hospital, this has been a plea. If you go to the government hospital and there is adequate staff, there is good infrastructure, there is improved assistance, the health service is something that has human face, I'm sure a lot of people will patronize government than going to private practitioners or going to people that have their private clinics. So, for me, it's a wake-up call for the regulator and those that are regulating, so that we can begin to have some sanity in the health sector.
Now, Dr. Olajide, again, I want to ask the question: what do you think government is driving at? What are they looking for, attempting to enforce this rule?
What we are looking at is to ensure that people who are in public service, they are dutiful enough and they give their commitment and loyalty to government rather than having the loyalty.
Now, so if they insist, the committee, according to them, will be set up to ensure the modality and how this work. Overall, who will benefit most, and how do you think this can be done?
Well, if this is enforced, the overall benefit will go to the masses, to the public. It will also restore. If government has also fulfilled their own side of it, with adequate personnel and infrastructure, it will also restore confidence in our public institutions.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Abayomi Olajide, for your time this morning. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Dele Ayodo and
Tobi.
All right. Thank you,
Doctor.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, we'll take this short music break. I will come back to permit you to express your own position. Thank you for still being there. Rock City 101.9 FM Daybreak Show. Citizens from this morning looking at the attempt of the federal government to begin to criminalize or act on medical doctors who are engaged in private practice. Earlier on, we spoke with NMA, Nigerian Medical Association Chairman, Ogun State Council Chairman, Dr. Abayomi Olajide. Well, his position is that there's nothing new in the rule, and there are two categories of doctors. One are those who are over 10 years old in the profession and regarded as consultants. Those ones are permitted to operate consultants, to operate as consultants, to operate clinics and work for people, provided it's not within the work period which they work for. And for those who are less than 10 years old, those ones are not even permitted. They cannot be licensed to do that. But if they want to work on during unofficial hours, which usually is 8 hours, and aside from the period they call duty, they can't do that in as much as it's not a full time. He said it's a mere sensationalism from government. They should do what they are supposed to do. They've not even consulted the board of the medical council and things they need to do. However, if they implement that, if they force that on the people, the masses, patients, will be the overall winner of those of the thing. Again, the civil service rule, he says, is the same. Just the operators that are making or creating the difference. That's the nutshell what Dr. Olajide's position has been.
Alright, you can be part of this by either calling the studio lines or reaching us via other platforms. So you can reach us via the short code 32120. You have to type rock, ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. You can also reach us via the Twitter handle at RockCityFM. Just tweet your contributions, and of course our Facebook fan page remains Rock City FM 101.9. The numbers to call are 0809-868-7344 and 0909-146-967. Remember the rules. If you're calling, you have to turn down the volume on your radio sets, give us your name, your location, and then you go ahead with your contribution.
Alright, let's speak to, yes, you are on, the first caller. Good morning.
Dele.
Good morning. Good morning.
I greet you. Tobi, good morning.
Morning.
Morning to you. Yeah, I'm Claudia calling from Abayomi. Good morning. I believe the first servo should have been served by any doctor in this parliamentarian, but I believe I can do it the way I think I know. Let me say this. At what point can we say that we have successful leader or government? Let me ask that question. Let me go straight to my point. I see this kind of development coming up now as a lack of purpose and ideals. It's going to be very anomic in context and content. You see, as government, the doctor has spoken very well that you brought. I listened to him very well. And he has told us that the reason why that thing probably is coming now from the direction of the government, not to operate private clinic. But they didn't say, the government was not coming totally to say that certain categories now. But it means, what I'm looking at is that they just don't want doctors to operate their own private clinic. Go and look at it very well. It's not about categories or these categories. So if we are going to probably look into this now, you see, governments that have not been probably providing for infrastructure and then probably looking at the direction of how to put in place all those amenities needed and all looking in the direction of paying salaries as at when due. So how do we expect people that we are talking about now not to operate any clinic at all? I will support it for them not to operate at the hours when they're supposed to be in the public sector, public hospitals. But we cannot probably as a government.
Quickly, your 2 minutes is almost up. Let me find out from you. Do you think this will help to stop the incessant crisis in the medical arena, within the medical sector?
it will not stop it at all. It will even add more of problems to it. It will run out of the country elsewhere.
Thank you. Okay, let's add your call. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Tobi.
Okay.
I believe this new action or therapy in order. This is not the first time in the country this issue has been brought. We remember a company in fact which banned private practice while in office. If my memory serves me well, I see Bashar and all was on guard and responsible to their calling. That time across all professions. The problem we have is policy somersault, and this policy somersault makes anything introduced by our government to seem to be from the moon as to associate. Somebody posed a question in the past, said, why is it that things don't follow the normal way in Nigeria or work in Nigeria? And the answer then was, Nigeria had not been following the law or normal rule. I think it is time sanity was brought back to our nation and to our national life. It is not necessary from the status quo. At least it takes somebody to play the card. And it is better to take an action than not to take anyone. Just for the sake of prosperity. This one, let us take this one very much.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. Yes, hello, good morning, citizens from Daybreak Show. Good morning.
Good morning, Tobi. My name is Honorable Olajide. I'm calling from the People's Parliament in Abuja. Actually, I serve in the paramedicals of Ogun, my member for 34 years. And I know what I think. This law will not, see the day of, the light of the day. It's not going to be work. It's not going to be easy. Let us give it to those doctors that even stayed back in Nigeria taking care of our people. A lot of them have gone out of the country looking for a green pasture. Those people that have stayed back must be given an encouragement. You are not paying them very well. They are short staff, they overwork themselves. Look at the guy there. It's a doctor slumped and died. Go and check the records. I'm saying it. So in a situation where these people are not well taken care of, and you want to take something that will even make them, to have, they used to have a locum that will just sustain them, sustain their family, want to keep it from them. I don't think it's something that will go well. Let me allow other people to talk. God bless you people. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. All right, Olajide, thank you. All right, we'll still move on. We have about 8 minutes to 10. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, morning.
Dele calling from Lafayette. Thank God for this month's discussion that has to do with our hospitals and doctors in particular. Well, it has been an ongoing practice. For victim of that, I find myself in a OPC. And due to one thing or the other, we were referred to a private clinic. We discovered that the owner of that thing happened to be a staff of that FMC. That's been ongoing. I think it should go beyond mere announcement. There should be action backing it up. When you go to our government hospitals, on their payroll, you will see all sorts of specialists being paid. But when you leave the service of that particular specialist, there are nowhere to be found. And apart from that, a lot of things have been damaged. They have the structure, they have the facilities, but some of them are not working. That's why we patronize private clinics, which are being owned by these government workers, doctors who are working in government facilities. I think more than that, there is a lot to be done regarding our excess. And we should not just pronounce, they should do carry action that should be total monitoring. That's what I'm saying. Good morning, have a nice day.
All right, thank you. Have a nice day too.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I do hear Miss Pandem from Mr. Lucky Abayomi.
Thank you.
Yeah, your reference person in the studio, who phoned in, who talks was in the radio. I think you should understand that the medical profession is a highly regarded profession, but once you are in the service of government, you are not allowed to, just like Mr. Dele was saying, the civil service code, you are not allowed to engage in any other profession aside from farming. So what makes the medical personnel different?
He just explained it to us. If you listen to him, that they have what the National Medical Council rule says.
Yeah, I want to expatiate on that. Now, look at the situation where a doctor is on duty. You know, they have shift. So, are you telling me a doctor who's on night shift abandon the hospital?
That is explained that means that night he is on official duty. So during the day he can go and consult elsewhere. Those are part of the things he said.
A teacher can also leave the school around 2 p.m. and then
that is official period. That the teacher can do anything after the close of school hours.
After the close of hours, okay, all right.
So that's the explanation he's given us.
Yeah, but if you're not complaining about being exhausted, would that not add to the exhaustion of the police personnel? So once you have your normal 8 hours and then you go back to another job for another 12 hours, so what are we complaining about? Is it going to give the best of his services? And just like somebody said, let us talk about referrals. They also refer most of these patients to their private clinics. So in essence, they are not giving their best. God save Nigeria.
All right, thank you. I think government is on. Let's find out what the committee or how they will do it, because really it's a naughty thing. It's almost between the chicken and the hen itself. Which one is the most because if you say you can't work during, you can work after official practice, and then you are supposed you have what they call duty, and then you can have full clinic. How do you severe all this without each of them colluding or colliding rather with each other? We'll take this call, the last for this segment. When we come back, yes, we'll begin with your messages, short code and tweet. Keep sending it. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Abayomi Olajide.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm calling from one of the
All right, go ahead.
That's one of the problems in this country. You see people in the system, they condemn that system and yet acknowledge that system. You see, I think what the federal government is trying to do is to bring sanity into it. That is it. If anybody, if you are talking about content to somebody, and this is the rules, that is it. You just have to abide. That's the system. In a situation where you want to cuddle, not to pot corner, that doesn't other way. You are professional. So I believe this is a system. If we are ready to work, that's what I would say. If you are ready to work, it will work. But if we are not ready to allow it to work, then we find ourselves at the end of the road. So that is what I believe. If you know that this is a system that doesn't give you enough time for you to practice, it's better you leave that system and set yourself somewhere. That will bring even development to the people, to the community. Rather than being a system, continue to condemn that system, but you will not leave that system. I think this is the fault. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go on a break now for the national news. After that, we will come back and continue with your contributions. Keep sending your messages to 32120. Keep tweeting. At Roxy FM is our handle. Stay with us.
Follow every part of me. What you don't know, you're a victim to Mr. J-Love. Oh, you don't care, so you treat me like a modern slave.
Alright, welcome back. Still citizens for the Daybreak Show, this beautiful Thursday morning. And what we're looking at this morning is the plan by the federal government to stop private practice by government doctors. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Dele, disclosed this to State House correspondents at the end of the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa, Abuja, on Wednesday. He actually said that a committee has been set up to look extensively into this issue because they are trying to resolve the issue of what does the laws of the land state and what the rule of professional ethic also say. He believes that the law of the land, which does not allow any public officer to do any other thing than farming, should be strictly adhered to. Earlier on, we spoke with the chairman of the NMA, Nigerian Medical Association, Ogun State branch, in person of Dr. Abayomi Olajide, who is saying that, well, there's nothing new about this move or about the law. It is there. What we need to be talking about is about the enforcement of it, and at the same time make some clarifications as regards who is eligible to own a clinic or not. Alright, we quickly run through some of the messages and then we go ahead with other contributions via the other platforms. Madam Broker sent in this message: I see government's latest move as a means of getting back at the doctors because of their strike action, and if care is not taken, workers all over will suffer for it. Government is just being vindictive. Alright, people forget history. Gowon did it in the 1970s and it failed. At the end of the day, it is the poor masses that will suffer. That's from Shuaga. Good morning, sirs. Please let callers always verify their views with facts, not sentiments. As core members collect more than others in government employment, they start on level 12. No profession is better than another. Let us just give our quota. God bless Nigeria. Yemi from Kolobo sent in that. What is needed in building sanity into the health sector is to put in place effective and efficient monitoring mechanism. Though the numerous problems we have in the health sector, which include infrastructure, funding, and inadequate personnel, are caused by doctors, are they involved in the disbursement of budgetary allocation? The non-availability of doctors make the president to seek medical treatment abroad. I beg, leave the doctors alone. Kenny additional sent in that. A regulation of doctors' activities, especially those in the public service, is necessary. Some doctors in public service spend more time on extracurricular affairs like union issues, personal businesses, more than their official jobs, thereby cheating the masses and government. It's like Ogota Wala Rapi. Many lives have been lost due to this negligence. Government should do the needful now. That's Tunde Omolalu sending in that message. Alright, thank you. So the Omolalu. Keep the messages coming. 32120, or you have to do so. Type rock ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. Keep sending your tweets also. Keep tweeting. At RocketFM is a Twitter handle. We go back to the calls. 0809-868-7344, 0909-146-9670. Good morning.
Good morning, Dele. My name is Dr. Ogun. I'm calling from Ashore State.
Yes, Dr.
Here we go again. The public has missed it again. Forget about the issue of the doctors. People don't know that. That is not the point they are going at. No work, no pay has been stopped under. This means that all those agreements they had with ASU, USU, and ARD is null and void. You know what? They are not going to implement it. When you go on site, they will tell you no work, no pay. Because see, that is the whole essence. This one has been, as our chairman said, it has been in the land for ages. It's not an issue. It's sensationalism, as he said, and I agree with him. The problem is they are talking no work, no pay. And people are talking of doctors that went to hospital, I didn't see doctor, I didn't see this one. That is not the point. They know. The minister knows that it's a non-issue. But he's talking no work, no pay. And if anybody goes on strike now, they are going to implement it to the letter. So all those agreements they signed with ASU, I can assure you, is null and void. Number one. Number two, you see this issue of 10 years and all that, people don't understand this. 30 years ago, we went to strike because of this issue. And Nigerian regime gave us that issue. Anybody above the age of 10, and there was a decree to that effect, which has incorporated the MDCN Act. There was a decree to that effect. It's not as if they just woke up, because that was the way to stem it. Let me tell you something. Some private hospitals are more equipped than government hospitals. Number one. Number two, there are more private hospitals than government in this country. Number three, most of the bulk of services offered to health in this country is by private hospitals. Number four, without private hospitals in this country, I don't know how many people would have survived from the issues that side. Look, are they telling us that these doctors working in the this thing is the reason why there's no syringe in national clinic. No, Dele tell me. Because some adults working in Bukia, so there's no, those are the issues they're supposed to. But you see that diverted attention. We are not going to ask them, how come they spend 3.2 billion in national clinic and yet there are no syringe and needles? Those are the issues Nigerians are supposed to talk about. Don't forget about all this. These are just trying to make people emotional. When they're emotional, people start talking and forgetting it. What is the president always going outside the country for treatment? These are the issues the Minister of Health should tell us, and we're not asking him. We're talking of doctors do this one and do that. This one saying that they are full Nigerians again, and we are taking the bait. These are non-issues. The law is very, very clear on who is to do private practice, who is not to do. They can't enforce it more than that. They themselves do because of their whole private hospitals do. So leave that one aside. The issue that make us not be fool again. Leave them. Why is there no syringe in national clinic? Dele, that is the question. Thank you very much.
All right, that's a medical consultant now. Adding it was actually part of those statements from the FEC includes what you have just said, the no work, no pay rule. Hello.
Mr. Dele,
Morning.
I'm Mr. Tobi. Thank God today is Thursday. My name is Big Daddy from Ayodo. I want to tell you about one of my heroes, Ojuku, what he said. When he went to Port Harcourt at afternoon like this, he was greeting them good morning. They were surprised. One was good morning in the afternoon. He said this is time they wake up. Good morning for Nigeria. We are just waking up. I want you to understand that most of all those doctors who owns hospital happen to be the chief doctor of that hospital. When they call them by two, they will leave the main work to come and attend to them. And every now and then, any strong strike, they will run away just because they have a substitution way to get money. Let's get ourselves being okay. People are tired. Have a separate organization. They will not face that truth and defeated Joe Boko Haram. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Why are we trying to begin a rap push? Because corruption has taken over Nigeria. Corruption is not when you steal money, when you leave your work for another work. Within a short time, they will just strike. Doctors are just like police, army, aviation. Under 1 year, they go on strike more than 10 times. Most people are dying. People. And they swear and go before they go to the office. If they can stop it, we are the new brand. We should bless Mbappe. Have a nice day.
Thank you. 0909146970. Hello. Hello, 32120 for short code messages. There's somebody there. You type hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Who's on the line?
Yeah, this is Olusoji from Fadio. From my own understanding, I realize that many things is fishy in this country. I would like to ask some questions, and I will start by this. Have we ever experienced for once that private sector gone on strike before? Why? Because of what? Someone is monitoring, someone is in charge, many things like that. I remember these doctors, they would be the one to transfer someone, a patient, to their hospital. Are you saying that private organization is richer than government organization? It's never done. But because they know that anything they want to do, they must benefit from it. We Nigerians, we are too smart that we can't do what we will lose from. We are after profit in any way. Now, there's so many things that is really baffling me in this country. I prefer that since the person is working under public, make it public. When you're working under private, make it private. Private public is what the government is trying to condition now. Because so many people, the way they make things run in this country, I don't really know. We are too smart.
short code number to send is 32120.
Tobi.
Good morning.
Maybe except Tobi and Dele and those of in the Rock City should go anything about Mobani Barau. Me, I know of a police sergeant who has 10 affairs, and he always go out to monitor those 10 affairs. So that, if that policeman is your IPO, definitely you will not meet him on seat because he wants to monitor his extra affairs, he wants to monitor his ID card and Okada. It is there everywhere. Let the government purge every sector. Every department should be purged. This law has been there for doctors to work when they close from their working place. It is a decree that was enacted by Babangida, and he made it so clear. Why is the federal government coming out now to make an announcement, to make a broadcast? Why are they not invoking the law? This is the questions we should ask. Why are they not invoking the law? Why are they making an announcement to Nigerians if there is no any hidden agenda, just like the person said? Let us all be careful. Let the federal government be sincere with Nigerians. Let equipment and drugs, everything, go to our hospitals so that Mr. Baba Uslu, Mr. Buhari will not go to London and take treatment again. Thereby, Nigeria will be a better place for all of us to live in. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you very much for your contributions.
Hello. 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 Let's get your call. Okay. Let's pick this one. After that, we check again those messages, short code, and tweets. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Abayomi Olajide from Ayodo.
Okay.
We have listened to the discussion on this medical and this morning. One thing that is,
Let's go ahead with you.
one thing that is happening is that why is that our leaders in Abuja are just now waking up now say no work, no pay. After sign some agreement so that they are not looking for ways to now shortchange these doctors. It's unfortunate in Nigeria when agreements are signed with various labor leaders, they don't implement. And that was why many of the doctors now look for alternatives, having a kind of divided interest. The company now have to now go out and look for how to fend for themselves. Even when the whole salaries they will not pay. And that was what some of them are going to more of a private practice. Everything borders on fear of God, so that the masses of this country who have no choice of going to private hospitals to seek for medical care will always have a recourse for help. God help Nigeria and let our leaders do what is needful.
All right, thank you. Let's start over with the calls. Let's quickly go through the tweets once again. This one from Joe Bash. I don't think this will work here in Nigeria because those that want to pass the law own most of the private schools in Nigeria. Passing this into law is just the best way of killing our health sector in Nigeria totally. Hope we still remember that private hospitals are the best and safest place to get Medicare in Nigeria. Is there any law in this world banning people from practicing their profession privately? That is still Joe Bash. Our Kwame Young Vinci says, "Hi, Nigeria is a tiring nation. We are fond of living leprosy and will be looking for the cure for ringworm. How is stopping doctors from private practice going to make them stop recommending private hospitals if they are guilty of such? 90% of Nigerian young doctors want to leave Nigeria. We've not yet recovered from 1989 to 1994 doctors' brain drain. Now, wow, when doctors go to work in hospitals after his official hours, are they not saving lives and helping to decongest government hospitals? Nigeria is not rich enough to cater to 180 million people. Government should be stimulating private practice, not killing it. This issue is diversionary, so we won't ask why Asoro Clinic doesn't have syringe. This is National Distraction Committee work." If government doctors are absconding from official work, they should be dealt with administratively, not using this to distract us, I beg. Those are tweets from Yemi Da Vinci. Alright, let's check short code messages. This one from Ishola from Oban Toko says this policy of no work no pay is oppressive. This kind of policy is only appropriate and most applicable in a country where things go as it should be. How do you apply this draconian rule in a country where employers of labor owe their workers as much as 15 months and the same employer is saying such workers should not go on strike? To the best of my knowledge, strike is the only language understood by irresponsible employers in this part of the globe, and as such, I don't support such rule. Okay, this one says, any attempt to do this will see more private hospitals springing up than government hospitals. BC sent in that message. It is clearly written that we are back to the dark ages of the dictatorship with this APC's draconian and unfriendly laws. APC is doomed, their tenure expires. Oluwajibola sent in that one. We are in the era of professionalism. Doctors can't wait to be left redundant in public hospitals. They need to expand their training by exposure to better facilities in private hospitals. No sensible professional should work with government. Taiwo Tolulokwe from Ashero sent in that message. Let the government address the issue of pensioners. Other things will follow. Many are in private business for fear of the unknown. Abiola Damilola sent in that message. Alright, keep sending your messages to 32120. All you have to do is to type rock, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120.
And check the messages again. Let's take your call. Okay, that's a drop call. 08098687344. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Oladele calling from Abayomi. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Oladele.
Yes, I want to ask that all this government is showing us is a far cry from what we're expecting. A government that could not even buy syringe and X-ray equipment at their own hospital at the State House in Abuja. What will you expect from the hospital? It seems this government, they just all of it that's off. They just want to change the whole thing. They don't know what to do. And they lack ideas in this area. Not only in this area. This is what happens in other facets of our life. Nigeria has come around. So I want the president to accommodate these health personnel, see what can do to better the laws of Nigeria. It's not that we begin to fight them. The moment they go on strike, they will not pay salary and not. That is not good.
Alright, thank you.
All you need to do is to see.
Thank you so much. Your 2 minutes.
Thanks.
Alright, thank you. Can we check the messages you have, Benny?
Yes, we have new tweets. This from Prince Adewale Owolabi. The health sector will always experience this until our leaders start using and receiving healthcare or medical attention here in the country. They are free to practice their profession both in the private sector and the public sector. We need to be frank with ourselves. If the leaders had to receive their healthcare here, they will go to private hospitals. As Prince Adewale Owolabi. Abaton Oluseyi, Israel, tweeted this. Government is leaving leprosy to cure skin rashes. Let government provide facilities to the hospitals and see if doctors will not perform. Akode Kamil tweeted this. I don't think they are killing private practice. We have numerous doctors in the medical profession that are not working under government. Okay, and Yemi Da Vinci tweeted this once again. With this new directive, federal government is definitely not encouraging private practice. We do not have enough doctors, and the few ones are leaving. Alright, let's go to shortcut messages. This one says, I was very excited and hopeful of my tomorrow right from my primary school. In my 60s, I feel frustrated and I grieve for my children and grandchildren. A clique in power has mortgaged their future. Oladoshu sent in that one. Unfolded events about governance in Nigeria is like watching a circus show. This engine must not knock. Oladoshu sent in that one. Alright, let's get back to the calls.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am Pastor Shola Makinde. I am calling from Ogun Kingdom. Okay, here.
Thank you.
Yes, you will please allow me to share my thoughts on the issue we have on the front burner this morning. You see, for me, there is no point quoting a bitter cooler. The recent move by the federal government and its Minister of Health Agency will only be an effort in futility. You see, the federal government should do the needful by equipping public hospitals. If you are imposing ban on medical doctors not to engage in PP, that is practice. When we don't have enough doctors and allied medical personnel, I don't know what you are talking about. Here, the wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, she said there is no single syringe in the Aso Rock clinic, in spite of the amount of money they have spent there. For me, it is like compounding the already compounded challenges in the health sector. 2019 is around the corner when we do the needful. Enough of this merry-go-round on our medical sector. Thank you so very much. God bless Rock City and God bless Nigeria.
Alright, another call, and we will then check the messages. Hello? Hello? You have a radio that you need to deal with there quickly. Alright. Hello? Move away from the radio in 3 seconds. Do that, please.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
I hear you.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Morning.
Money, your 2 minutes already counting.
Okay. I just need to contribute to the discussion this morning.
Your name?
My name is Dele. So anyway, I think the report comes from both sides about from our government and from our doctors too. First of all, I think our private hospitals, they need to wake up. Like one of the callers said, if you want to practice privately, do that. You want to work for the government, do that. I think first of all, apart from that, the government needs to wake up in the sense that I'm sorry to say, we Nigerians, we don't have, in one way or the other, don't have a regard for human rights. I'm telling you this. Because I've seen a policeman in the United States, a policeman who whipped because he or she has witnessed an horrific killing or a crime that's so disturbing. But in our country, our policemen can witness us and they will go and think and kind of whatever it is or Google. So I think the problem starts with our government having regard for human rights and our doctors also having regard for human rights. Because I've seen cases in private hospitals, in public hospitals where...
Alright, you begin to wind down. Your 2 minutes is up. Can you quickly... Hello? Alright, messages?
Yes, this tweet trickled in from Akorede Camille. I agree that government hasn't done much to make provision for facilities and equipment, but that doesn't allow doctors to show negligence. Most doctors refer patients to their private clinics, thereby killing government hospitals at the expense of their own. That's still Akorede Camille. Prince Adewale Wolabi says we cannot also dispute that the doctors do show nonchalant attitude to their work. Okay, that is it for the tweets and of course the messages. We appreciate every one of you for your messages and of course those who tweeted and of course the comment on the Facebook page and those who called. Tomorrow is the open edition of the show.
So start sending your messages now. It's good to talk. Dele Ayodo is my name. I say God bless you all. God bless Nigeria and God bless Rock City.
I am Tobi Joseph. Have a wonderful day.